Hi, it's Steve with Coin Stuff I Like, bringing you another video in the Carson City Stuff I Like series. Um, I do have a playlist for all the Carson City videos that I've done. I'll put it in the description of this video. This one is about a new purchase that I just received. It's an 1878 CC Seated Liberty dime, and I want to talk about that, and also building a 1878 CC silver denomination set, meaning dime, quarter, half, and dollar. Actually, $2. We'll get to that. First, let's talk about this new dime in my collection. Well, it's not new. It's quite circulated, which I love actually because of the history behind this. This has probably been used quite a bit in commerce, so I really appreciate that part of it. This one is a fine details. It has a little scratch up here above the one. So it received a fine details. That's okay with me in putting together this 1878 CC silver denomination set. I'm not a dime collector, but I am a CC collector, and I wanted to have all the denominations for 1878, at least eventually. So this one fit. It wasn't too pricey. I mean, it's not cheap, believe me, but it was obtainable. Um, so these had a mintage of 200,000 back in 1878. And of those, only about 300 to 425 survive in all grades. This is according to Rusty Go, who is an expert on the Carson City Mint and Carson City coinage, and has produced a number of books. This is his estimated survival. And of those 300 to 425 that survive in all grades, 80 to 110 are in XF or higher. So, maybe 200 survive in conditions like this, less than XF. So, nevertheless, very happy to have it in the collection. As you know, I like looking at the coin a little bit deeper with loops and such to identify the die variety. There were two obverse dies, four reverse dies, uh, creating four die pairings to produce the 1878 CC Seated Liberty dime. And this one's 101. It's the first one of the four die pairings. This is the only one that has a type 1 reverse. The type 1 reverse, there's a number of markers, but the proximity of the E to the wreath is one marker. There are others, but this one's clearly a type 1 reverse. There was only one type 1 reverse of the four die pairings, so this one's a pretty easy identification to a variety 1, even though there's a lot of wear and the little die gouges on the arm are not readily available or readily seen. We still know because of date placement and because of the type 1 reverse that this is the variety 101 because there's only four die pairings. This one happened to have a doubling of one dime. And you can see some remnants of here. Again, the wear sort of takes out a lot of what you would see a little bit in here. You can see a little bit on the edge here, a little bit here. So there are some pieces of evidence of the residual doubling of one dime, but it was there before it got worn because there was only one type 1 reverse die used, and it had the doubling of one die for this year, 1878 CC. So, nice add to the collection Now let's talk about building that denomination set. Well, I've put this graph up here, lots of number. These are the survival rates according to Rusty Go for every one of the silver denominations minted at Carson City Mint between 1870 and 1878. Now, I'll remind you from previous videos that 1878 was the last year that they minted silver denominations other than the dollar. All right? From 1879 to the end of the Carson City Mint in 1893, the silver denomination was dollar, and that's it, was the Morgan dollar. In 1878, they produced a dime, a quarter, a half. They produced a Morgan dollar, but earlier in the year, they produced a trade dollar. So these are Rusty Go's estimated survival rates for all the silver denominations. Very busy slide. Let me put it this way. All the ones with less than 100 estimated surviving are probably not ones that you're going to, at least I'll speak for myself. They're not going to be in my collection. They're just unaffordable. For example, this is the No Arrows 1873 seated dime from Carson City. There's only one. Yeah, only one person gets that, not me. This year 1873 was the arrows and no arrows, and then arrows is the way it's stacked up here in this chart. And this one here was within the reef and below the reef for the mint mark. That's why there's two sets there. But just on a cursory look at these, you can see that there's the ones that have less than 100 estimated survival and eliminates a number of these years for me to collect as a denomination set. 1870, 1874, I'm not going to complete a whole entire set. I'm happy to have seated Liberty dollars, except for this one, which I'll get one day, and then have to turn around and sell it because it's a big investment. It's 5-figure, 6-figure coin. So that one's not in my collection, but it will be someday. But these won't. They just won't. So it really leaves. There's only 17 to 18 surviving 1876 20 cent pieces. Yeah, not going to be able to complete that denomination set. So that leaves only 1875, 1877 that are affordable for me, and I have done videos on that. The hardest was 1875 quarter, which had 225 to 325 survivors to fill out that part of that denomination set. And then 1877, 400 to 525 survivors of the trade dollars. So those are the two rate limiters, are the hardest ones to fill out the set, but I managed to do that. And here's the 1875. Part 12 of the Carson City Stuff I Like series was a video about this denomination set. I'll put the link in the description of this video. Same thing with 1877. The trade dollar was a rate limiting, but I already had that one, so it was really a matter of filling these in. I got that one when I was working on the silver dollar, Carson City silver dollar collection, which is complete except for that 1873 seated Liberty. And that one was part 15 video in the Carson City Stuff I Like video. I'll put that link in the description as well if you want to watch that. So 1875, 1877 completed. 1878 is a tough one. You can see that these two are relatively easier, the easiest to complete because most of the denominations are surviving in the thousands, at least 1,000 or more. 1878, other than the Morgan, 1878 Morgans, there's about 125 to 150,000 survivors. Other than that, they're all less than 1,000 surviving. And this half here is the lowest survivorship of any of these 1878 denominations. So I managed to fill out this one, and I had the quarter. It's a beat up one, and I have the trade dollar and the Morgan dollar. So I'm almost there. I have to get that 1878 CC $half, Seed Liberty $half. There's only 125 to 160 surviving, so it's going to be pricey even for one in a very highly circulated grade. This one here, maybe I'll change out in the future because it's pretty beat up, but still it completes that slot in the set. It's self-slab. This is the new one. These are the two that I already had. And someday I hope to bring you a video where I talk about this one, filling out this denomination set for 1878, Carson City silver denominations. So thank you for watching, allowing me to share these with you. I look forward to talking with you and seeing you next time. Remember, buy stuff you like, but be careful about what you buy. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.